question for you. Does being in the digital space mean that it's okay to violate somebody's boundaries? Do rules of respect fly out the window when you're on the internet? Does being in the cyberspace mean that consent is irrelevant? Don't even waste your time thinking about all of this. The answer is no. Stick with us as we break down for you the various steps for meeting somebody online and getting to know them in a respectful and consensual way. Step number 1, matching. You've swiped right and matched with someone, but does this mean that the person owes you their time? Not necessarily. Many times, people end up swiping on someone who they find intriguing or out of curiosity. Just because somebody matches with you doesn't mean that they owe you a conversation or that you're entitled to their time. So make sure to approach every conversation without the assumption that this person 100% is into you, because that may not always be the case. Step number 2, the actual conversation. Once you've matched with someone and started talking to them, there are a few things to keep in mind. Don't start the conversation by saying, "Hey, let's take this to text." I mean, not everyone's going to be comfortable sharing their number with you when you've just met. Another huge no would be sliding into their DMs on their social media platform without their permission. Dating apps are designed in such a manner that if someone doesn't want to talk to you, they can just quietly unmatch with you because they still do control their space. But when you slide into their DMs on social media without their permission, you are violating some boundaries. Take this for an example. You wouldn't just walk up to somebody's house unannounced, would you? So then don't do that with social media either. You can migrate to other platforms to continue your conversation, but it becomes imperative that you ask the person to make sure that they're comfortable with this. And take this as the gospel truth. When someone says no, that means no. It doesn't mean keep asking me till I relent. And this extends to both asking somebody for their social media handles or actually suggesting that you meet in person for a physical date. It's not like non-verbal cues don't exist in the digital sphere. If someone's not replying to your texts or not being able to find the time to talk, take the hint and stop trying to contact them. Step 3, when things start heating up. Once you've established a connection with a person and want to take things to the next level, there's no reason why sexting can't be safe and respectful while also being really fun. But before we dive into this, repeat after me. An unsolicited genital picture is sexual harassment. Consent is at the core of sexting, and it's important that all parties involved are completely comfortable with what's going on. One way to do this is not to assume that someone will be in the mood the same time that you are. Make sure to have a straightforward and explicit conversation about whether they want to do this and what their boundaries are, as well as expressing your own. Because what if they're working or hanging out with their family or just not in the mood? Don't spring that on them. Communicate openly and honestly and be willing to take some feedback. Another good practice would be to have a safe word or an emoji so that even in the heat of things, you can clearly communicate what's something that you're not comfortable with. And again, if someone says no to something, just back off, because persisting and pressurizing them in that, A, is harassment, and B, can really kill the mood. Another very important thing to talk about over here is if somebody sends you an explicit picture, do not share it with anybody else. It's meant for your eyes only. In fact, don't even save it on your phone if you don't have explicit permission from your sexting partner to do so. Doing either of these actually is a form of image-based sexual violence and can have legal implications. Step number 4, ensuring safety. Wait a minute, is this step 3 or step 4? In any case, it's an important one. Keeping in mind these 2 tips will help ensure that your data and privacy are never violated. Number 1, When taking an explicit picture, make sure that you don't have any identifiable markers being a part of that picture, like your face, of course, but also things like tattoos or scars. This will ensure that in the worst case scenario, even if this picture is leaked, at least it won't be able to be traced back to you. Number 2, pick the correct apps to sext. Some apps will store data beyond what you can control. Try using apps where the images self-destruct or you get a notification when the receiver takes a screenshot. Whether it's something seemingly small like their social media handles or a bigger step like actually meeting in person, consent really needs to dictate all social interactions that we have online. Just because some information is easily available doesn't mean that we should feel entitled to it. And anything other than an enthusiastic yes is a no. We understand that relationships are tricky and subjective and there can't be rules and steps that are set in stone. But we leave you with this thought. As long as consent and respect is guiding everything, you should be good to go. If you want to know more about navigating these waters, click on the link below to check out Tinder India's ongoing series around conversations on consent. What are some ways that you think we can ask for consent online? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment and share, and subscribe to Feminism in India for your dose of desi intersectional feminist content.